they said that it couldn't be done. Creating a sustainable yarn dyeing operation in Biddeford, Maine, and competing with overseas production. Labor costs are too high, the equipment too old. They no longer had the expertise, or maybe they simply just didn't care. Instead, they had been told that their beautiful old textile mills had to look like this. But they had a surprise. Ask a fiber artist or a hand knitter about local quality in U.S. jobs like many others faced with today's economic concerns, and they care. This is a story that hand knitters already understand. Something as simple such as dyeing a piece of yarn has the power to do this. In a technology-driven world, yarn may seem unimportant, or like a funny starting point to talk about U.S. manufacturing. But it was yarn that was the start of the Industrial Revolution. And today, it is the same material that gives us the chance to compete with a focus on controlling quality and doing so in a way that is environmentally responsible. This is what the Saco River Dyehouse, the only GOTS-certified yarn dyeing operation in the country, is all about.
I tell people that yarn is a funny little thread, and why would I give money to an operation that deals with yarn that's kind of fluffy and oftentimes is minimized? But yarn is the thread, and textiles is the thread that has tied us together as people in relationships all through history. The Saco River Dyehouse is a wonderful story that starts with a couple of brothers in New York in the 30s who developed a dye house to support a line of yarn called Pattern Nayan. The dye house moved then from Manhattan in the 80s to Massachusetts, and it ran and was a fairly significant sized business, and then it got in financial trouble and was going to close. So a few of us, including Pam Allen from Quince & Company, said, gee, what would it look like to move a dye house from Massachusetts to Maine? Little did we know at the time what that would look like, but we did it and ended up in the North Dam Mill complex in Biddeford, Maine.
This is an old mill, and it's extremely interesting to be working in here. The history of this place is remarkable. To see it continue, I think is good. I think it's good for the town. I think it's good for the state. And as we grow, it's going to be good for everybody. My duties here are to make sure that the orders that our customers send into us are done properly, done level, that the yarn is in good condition, that it's the right color.
One of the things in running a dye house in 2013 is it's important to do it in a socially responsible way, along with looking at how to save energy costs and how to dye responsibly, is to look at GOTS certification, which is the international standard for global organic textiles. And we now are the only organically certified yarn dyeing operation in the country. We believe that's an important addition to our overall philosophy to want to be able to be socially responsible. If you asked me what the mission of this dye house is right now, is to create the world's very best dye team. And what that means is that we've got 10 people working in the dye house who didn't have jobs 4 months ago. We have a book of business for Maine that didn't exist 4 months ago. So it's about jobs, it's about economic revitalization for a community that really needs it, and it's about creating something that we hope will offer something to our kids, our grandkids, to show them that something like this can still be done in the U.S. with U.S. jobs and U.S. expertise.
As we expand, more and more people will be depending on us, and we will grow. We will continue to grow.
So if there's one thing you can support that doesn't necessarily have a tech edge to it, it would be yarn, because the output of the yarn is the relationships that we could create. If one ever goes to a drop-in knitting class, they find out that what that drop-in knitting class is not about the yarn. It's about sitting around a table and forming relationships.